May 2021 to now, why can't I move on, why can't I heal, why can't I stop loving and wanting her? This sub needs a Discord channel. I'm falling apart. Me 34 meters, her 37 F2 kids. Married for 12 years, she had an affair with someone she met online playing WoW. They met up at her mother's wedding. We were having problems. I was going to counseling and therapy for depression and anxiety. I'm severely ADHD BTW. I tried to reconcile, she didn't want to and left me. Divorce finalized 1 year ago. I'm still dealing with the trauma. I have had 2 failed relationships since then. The most recent one lasted 7 months. Fantastic woman, I just couldn't commit to having another child. I can't bring another child into this world knowing that one day that child might look up at me crying and say, I wish we could all live together again. Those memories haunt me, my children crying. I'm a failure. I failed as a father. I failed as a husband. The only thing I do well is provide financially. She tried to have a relationship with AP, it failed. Turns out he is a toxic, abusive piece of trash. She tried to have another relationship, it failed. Turns out he has PTSD and does MTH. They both contacted me through FB Messenger to tell me that she is bringing random guys over while my kids are there. This kills me. I don't believe it's true, but my fears of not being able to protect my children hurts so much. I keep trying to be her support. She doesn't have anyone else. Most of her family despises her for what she has done. I keep hoping she will get better. I keep hoping she will choose me again. I keep hoping to get my family back. I can't trust anyone. I can't even commit to being in another relationship again. Please don't talk negatively about her, I know what she has done. She is still the mother of my children and she needs to get better. I need to get better too. How do I help her? How do I help me? We are in a state where we are the only support each other have. I want all my emotions to just stop. I want a hug. I am spiraling. Edit, thank you all for the comments and suggestions. I needed help to get my head out of this loop. Please keep it coming. Story 2, wife cheated. Housing issues. Friends. 14 years together and 2 children. We 39 meters 40 F weren't in a good position for the past 2 years when she started a new job. 1 year later. New job, still in contact with old colleagues. Always on the phone. Then she asks me if her friend will stay with us until she moves to a new place. I reluctantly agreed. When it happened, she had gone from sleeping in bed with me to sleeping on the couch. So we weren't well positioned. Her friend 40F has no job, she lives off her husband's money and is generally a party girl. In the summer, I work late hours and on the weekends, while the wife 40 years old went out with friends on the weekends. I had my suspicions but never really thought about it. Several times I asked her friend to help me find out what's bothering my wife. Fast forward a few weeks and my wife's AP texted me to tell me everything. Your friend knew about it. It was then that her husband found out. You all hid it from me? D-Day was 4 months ago. His excuses became you gotta get over this. I was not the best husband, I know that. But I'm here for the kids. I don't love her like she needs to be loved. I understand. But tell me she wants to be a friend and co-parent. No family. The PA wants nothing to do with her. But the mortgage is in both names. Do I have to leave now? What if I leave and she can't handle the mortgage? I'm so lost. Update, X getting groomed. I'll try to be brief. XGF now and I bought a house. Under both of our names. I caught her cheating about 6 months ago. Say goodbye to 15 years. We never got married. Have a child, there is no reconciliation and she thinks I should leave, since she cheated. Yes, it won't happen, fam. I work to save money for a lawyer to sort out the housing situation. The ex has completely given up on helping around the house. She doesn't buy groceries for our child. She doesn't even clean up after her own area. So her AP got in touch and told me all because she lied also to him. Around this time EXGF tried to introduce me to their new girlfriend who they told me was bisexual. We weren't in a good place, so I wasn't interested in meeting someone new. But when she said them, she used these weird comments. She takes me out of my comfort zone, etc. The AP even told me that this new girl was nursing her. He sent me pictures of when she took him to the adult toy store. Fast forward 6 months, EXGF disappears all weekend, several now, to hang out with his friends. I know her, she doesn't like anyone so much that they spend 3 days with them unless something happens. If I ask her now, I get the answer she has a boyfriend. We are separated. I understand. Sorry for the long speech. Any advice is welcome. Story 3, as I write this, my wife is cheating on me. Today I learned that my wife is cheating on me. We have been through a tough time over the last few years, with a lot of stress at work, COVID and having our son with autism. We drifted apart and 2 years ago she decided it was best to break up to give us some distance and rethink the situation. I moved into a rented apartment while she lived in our house and our 2 children spent the same amount of time together. I have always loved and got along with her even though it caused a lot of emotional pain. Since then we have had a friendly relationship, spending holidays together and taking care of the children. After a year and a half and a lot of soul searching, we had a discussion and decided it would be best to try to get back together. This was 3 weeks ago. I was very excited about it. As I said, I never stopped loving it. But apparently last week she met an old colleague who liked her and now they're together. He didn't say anything, but I learned from an acquaintance that he saw them together intimately. My heart is broken and I am having a very hard time dealing with anything right now. I had a panic attack and cried for 2 hours straight. Someone once told me that in situations like this, the best thing to do is write down how I feel when someone listens. That's why I came to this subreddit. I hope someone who has been where I am now can help me get out of this despair. The pain is just unbearable right now. Edit, thanks everyone for the support. I wasn't expecting so much help, so I really appreciate it. I woke up the next morning and your comments are why I've come this far today. Redditor's reactions, story 4 after. Redditor 1, your marriage ended 2 years ago, man. This is just terrible, I'm so sorry. But things always get better, keep your head up, king. Op answer, thanks for the kind words. Yes, it ended 2 years ago, but I was too naive or hopeful to not see it happen when it did. Now I get the reality slap. Redditor 2, first of all, it sucks and I hate reading it. Based on what you've written about her, it won't change since he's had little chance to. It may be there physically, but not emotionally. If you know you're going to divorce her, here are some things I would and wouldn't do. 1. Do not leave the house like you did last time. Depending on the laws in your state, assuming the US, This could affect your custody agreement. Defend your territory. 2. Don't give him permission to take the kids out of state country. I have heard horror stories of a spouse leaving the state and moving elsewhere. 3. Don't drain shared checking or savings accounts. Anything financial is taken care of as part of the divorce process. 4. Get your checking account he can't access if you don't already have one. Have your salary sent there and no shared accounts he can access. 5. Make copies or scans of all documents needed during the divorce. I suggest contacting an attorney for guidance direction before letting her know you want a divorce. It would be easier to have a plan in front of you and stick with it before it gets ugly. 6. Once you know you've let her know you're getting a divorce, communicate with her only by email or text. You may need electronic copies for court. 7. Do your best to keep things as normal as possible for your child. Reddit follow-up. One more thing I'd like to add to this list: copies of your child's birth certificate and SS card if you're in the US. I'm sure you can't see how he's going to go through life without her, without your marriage, but he will. You will make it. However, give yourself enough time to grieve the loss and don't be hard on yourself. I wish you the best. Story 4, was I cheated on by my wife? A few days ago my wife showed me something on her phone, and when I looked down a text notification popped up. It was a man's name and it said a lot of emotional things to her, like "I often think of you," etc. I immediately asked him who it was and what it was about. She told me he was just a friend who might have something for her. She insisted it was innocent, and she never went overboard. I asked to find out more and soon found out he was an ex. We have explicit rules about revealing relationships and dating exes, so this was immediately upsetting and she knew she had broken my trust. I asked to see the messages and she agreed. They weren't innocent messages. The two were beyond flirting. Swapped heart and kiss emojis, made sexual innuendos, even said goodnight before bed. They exchanged selfies and complimented each other. She complimented him in ways he never does with me. She sent photos of herself that I had never seen, and she sent him photos of herself taken when they were together so they could remember their time together. My heart sank when I found out she had been keeping this secret text message relationship for a year. I felt a knot in my stomach. He agreed that what he did was wrong, but he says he never cheated and never would. She says she was just there to feel wanted and beautiful, and she was putting him together for that. I find this hard to believe because in the few minutes I spent scrolling through their messages, I saw her inciting flirting and even telling her to be careful or she might get into trouble. To me, this was a form of cheating. She was in a secret relationship with a former lover in which she did things she knew were forbidden for a married person. He agrees that he was wrong, but he says I'm making too big a deal. What do you think? Also, I am now faced with the impossible decision of how to proceed. I have a feeling she's going to be hard to trust moving forward. I am afraid that this incident will turn me into a suspicious and insecure husband and gradually, over time, ruin our relationship. If you have any advice on this fear, it would be appreciated. Postscript, thanks to everyone on this thread. I'm too ashamed to talk with the people in my life about this, so it's nice to be able to talk about it here. I've read lots of great advice and will be employing much of it. There have been so many helpful and supportive comments. It means a lot to me. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to reply to all of them today. But I want to say thanks to all of you. Redditors' reactions, Story 5 after. Redditor 1, this is definitely cheating. At a minimum, she is having an emotional affair. Given that it's been going on for almost a year, it seems nearly impossible that a physical affair has not occurred. I'm sorry you're going through this. Ready to follow up? I agree. If they're anywhere near one another, I think the possibility of a physical relationship has also happened. An emotional relationship is far more dangerous than just a physical one. Redditor 2, at the minimum that is an emotional affair, and by itself it is cheating and a betrayal. She is lying to minimize the damage. Keep pressing and she will admit they met for lunch one time. Okay, lunch several times but no touching. Okay, he kissed her once but she didn't like it and it never happened again. Okay, they made out in his car 3 times. Okay, yeah, she gave him a BO job once. Okay, maybe they had time once. Truth will end up they have been sleeping together for a year. Redditor 3, yes, it's infidelity, it's called emotional infidelity, and for some people, myself included, it's the worst thing because she likes, flirts, actively seduces another man knowing that she disrespects you, betrays you and hurts you. And let me tell you, if they lived near each other or if they were lucky enough to meet, they screwed up, hard to tell. Don't confront them or anything. The first thing to do now is gather all the evidence you can and get a lawyer. Prepare for anything, keep all doors open. Now that you are going through the most difficult period of your life, you must decide whether to stay and work on reconciliation or to leave and start a new chapter in your life. When it comes to reconciliation, you don't know what it is. It doesn't mean going back or being normal again. She burned the relationship. The question is, if you are ready to start over, are you going to start a relationship with this woman knowing who she is and what she has done? Don't judge them by their words, only their actions count. She refused to cheat, she takes no responsibility for his actions, she tries to make him look smaller than he is and will probably blame you, victimize you, lie to you and everything else to save their comfort. Love is tainted, respect is gone and trust is broken, and none of that can be the same because you know what she is capable of, you know she can destroy you to fulfill her selfish desires. And reconciliation won't work if you think you can't get past it. Desire is perfectly normal and she doesn't make an effort, and even then your success rate is 15% and you won't have a good relationship. Will be okay, normal at best, with occasional triggers that plague your mind from time to time. Then you divorce, work it out, heal the wound. The scars will be painful from time to time, but if you focus on yourself and work on making your life better, you can get by in a year or 2 if you're unlucky. The best choices are often the simple but difficult ones, and in the end it's your life, your choice, just don't regret it. Redditor follow-up, ha. What are you talking about? Do not confront her. Did you even read the complete story? She handed over her phone so he could read all the messages. She already knows that he is aware of this all. They even talked about it. Story 5, found out my wife cheated on me. I'm not surviving very well. Scenario, I have 2 biological children with her and have been in her daughter's life for 10 of her 13 years, from a previous marriage. I spent 10 years with my wife. We have been married for 5 years. I found out last month that he was cheating on me. My previous marriage ended because my wife cheated on me, and my current wife knows how much she affected me. If I had to give advice to other people, I'd say she obviously doesn't know what you're doing and you need to go out there and do what's best for you. That's what I did in my previous marriage. And it was just because I no longer had any love for her and wanted nothing more to do with her. We didn't have children, it was easy. I still love him and I hate myself for it, but I still love him. I want to do my best for the children. I see a future with her, Many ideas come to mind and she is part of it. What I can't do is find the starting point of forgiveness. I can't find that first foot on the road to trust again. I can see this future, but I don't know how to get there or how to start. What relationships are successful after betrayal? Has the trust ever returned? Has the pain of betrayal ever eased? I need help. Someone? Everyone. I'm not well and I need someone to help me. Update: 2.5 months after trying to work on it, she disappeared all over the country and abandoned her children. Divorce in progress. I'm moving next week with my family. Thanks for everyone's advice below as she helped me keep an eye on the door hoping she would fix herself. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, I read something useful in another post. It is more difficult to stay than to leave. It's a very difficult road to reconcile after this level of betrayal. If she still cheats on you in any way, you're going to have a hard time. Confidence also depends on how hard you both work. It was infinitely easier to keep a marriage than to restore it. You would feel freeze sometimes when he gets a text or he is 15 minutes late than usual. You will guess wrong. It's up to you, but it will be difficult. Reddit follow-up: not only is it harder to stay than to leave, it's more traumatic and increases your risk of PTSD, which is no joke. And the payoff for all that hard work and dealing with all that trauma is that you can stay with someone who betrayed you. It's not exactly a prize to be won. Redditor 2, there's a lot about you here but nothing about her. What is she doing to change? What caused her to cheat? How could she traumatize you already knowing what you went through? The path to healing starts first and foremost with her. You can't reconcile with unempathetic partner. Statistics say only 15% of couples survive. It takes 2-5 years to feel a new normal. It is a lot and very hard process. Odds are against you being successful. What's best for the kids is a loving environment. If your marriage deteriorates, do your part to pull your kids out of it. Op answer: I've already decided that if it starts to become toxic environment for the children, I'm out. Redditor 3, I'm so sorry you're here. To answer your question, yes, the pain fades. At some point, you learn to trust. You end up learning to see the person you love and not the heinous act they have committed when you look them in the eye. I really like what you said about seeing a future, but I don't know where to start. Well, that starts with learning all about the relationship. First, are you still in contact with AP? If so, it should stop immediately. If she really loves you and wants to save your marriage, that won't be a problem. Has she been completely honest about the information you want to know? Does she want to stay married? How long did the case last? Have you seen evidence of their transgressions? Did she apologize and is she remorseful? Did you ask all the questions? Tricky truths can really damage the already fragile path to reconciliation, so it's important that you know everything you need to know to make the best decision for you and your children. Next, think about what you want her to feel good about in the future you see. Do you want an open phone policy? Do you want individual or group therapy? What kind of behavioral change would you expect from her? These are questions you need to ask yourself. Then you also need to know that you won't stop feeling the pain just because you decide to wear makeup. I wish I could tell you it's going away. I wish I could tell you that your healing process will be linear. I wish I could tell you it's gonna be easy. But none of this is true. Everyone heals at their own pace, so it's important to be gentle and kind to yourself as you navigate your new life. Speaking of new life, that's exactly what you're entering. It sounds bad, but it doesn't have to be. Your marriage is over. You and your wife can't go back, only forward, which means a new relationship will emerge from this mess. It's also worth noting that you can change your mind at any time. Just because you want to fix this now doesn't mean you'll feel the same way months later, so be open to all possible outcomes, even if you're certain now. As you focus on the relationship, you should also focus on yourself and your recovery. If he can prioritize his selfish desires that have led to the possible destruction of your love, you should exercise that same selfishness in a healthy way and love and support you. I wish you the best. I hope she will do whatever you need to help you move forward.